Hey guys, this is Jim Kurtz with Harmonics, and I had a little mishap there in my previous meeting. My son decided uh, to go clog the toilet and had to handle that. Gotta love COVID-19 and the wonderful joys that home life and sequestered life seems to be bringing us. So, what I'm going to share with you guys here, I'm going to actually turn my phone off here. So. What I want to share with you guys here is the best kept secret in precision agriculture. Now, if you're into precision agriculture, if you're into getting that edge, then you're definitely going to want to hear what I have to say here because there's a lot of different technologies that are all coming to bear on improving crop yield and improving plant health and improving the way farmers grow our food. We have things like drone technology, which is able to allows the close monitoring of crops and trouble spots. There's moisture sensors in the soil to actually determine the optimum amount of moisture in the soil for a crop. There's precision nutrition solutions, which actually provide not only the common elements like nitrogen, phosphorus, potassium, and those types of things, but also handle the micronutrients that plants need to thrive and to really do well. There's also enzymes and there's microbials. There's all these different things that are going into agriculture these days, which are allowing farmers to produce more than they ever did before. And what I'm about to show you is something that's actually going to take every one of those different tools and enhance them and actually amplify the positive benefits that they produce for farmers. That's going to allow guys that are already into precision farming to increase their crop yields and their productivity even further. And it's not just about crop yields, like how much you're actually growing, right? Some farmers we talk to, they don't want to actually increase their crops. They don't want to get more crops. The reason why is because they're already selling as much as they can sell, or maybe the market is on a downswing where they're not actually making, they're not actually making as much per their yield as they used to. Like the amount of uh, dollars they're making per pound is lower, is down, or the amount of just the market just is down. So that's just the thing when you're growing a commodity crop like you see in farming. So a lot of times they say, well, what am I going to do with an extra 30% in crop yield when the market's so far down? I'm actually not making any money. Well, I'm going to show you guys how you can make more money, even if you are not that interested um, in increasing your crop yield. And this is what we call the future of farming, because literally it takes every positive element that farmers are already engaged in and it amplifies it. It makes it even more powerful. So if you're using, for example, drone technology to measure the quality of photosynthesis, then you're going to see a lot better photosynthesis using our technology. If you're using microbes in the soil to help stimulate plant growth, then you're going to notice that the microbial function in the soil is going to be increased. At least that's what we're theorizing based upon what we've seen in our test trials. You're going to, if you're interested in micronutrients and improving the nutritional content of the plants that they're getting and making sure the plants have all the nutrients that they need to grow healthy and strong, our technology is going to amplify everything you're already doing. So with our technology, with this product I'm about to show you, it's not about replacing something or trying something new or changing the way you farm. It's about making everything that you're already doing more powerful. It's amplifying what you're already doing. So I want to introduce you here to the future of farming. And this is the Kyminasi plant booster. But before we get to that, I want to show you here, our company is Harvest Harmonics USA. We also have Harvest Harmonics International. We are currently in about 13, 14 countries actively right now, and we're actually expanding that. We expect to be within 50 countries actively farming by the end of this year in 2020, even with the COVID slowdowns. We have several university trials underway, which most of those should have already been done by now, but again, COVID kind of shut a lot of that down. So by the end of the year, we'll have 7 or 8 university studies already completed and another 4 or 5 probably started by then. And we're going to show you everything that you're going to need to know to make the positive decision for your farm. What do I want you to get out of this presentation? I want you to see this technology in and use it on your farm. I want you to get 20 to 30% increases in crop yield. More importantly, I want you to be able to reduce your chemical and fertilizer usage over time. And that's something that we're going to see farm by farm. The ability of a plant to absorb the nutrients that it needs should result in a less need for them over time. And that's something that we're going to be testing over the next few years. We want to see you increase the quality and the shelf life of your crops, not just how much you produce, but also can that fruit last longer before it starts to rot. That's going to benefit your customers, the retailers, and the people eating the food, and have less waste. It's also going to make you a lot of more money, as I'm going to show you here. Our mission is to help farmers around the world grow healthier, better quality crops at a lower cost and do so with higher yields, all without harming the environment. And that's a tall order because a lot of farmers understand that in order to really get the highest yields and the best quality, sometimes you have to do things that are not necessarily great for the environment. With our technology, you'll be able to do that. In fact, one of our goals, our sub goals, is to help organic farmers rise up to the level of production of what we call conventional farming here in the United States. Now, what farmers typically run into in terms of their common challenges, we've seen this over and over again, is bad weather, like the insufficient sunlight, too hot, too cold, too much water, not enough water. All these different factors are always plaguing a farmer, making it difficult to make a consistent living. The rising cost of fertilizer and other inputs is always a challenge because you don't always necessarily get, as I mentioned, that return. If the market happens to be down and you can't sell your produce for as much as you used to, sometimes the cost of those inputs gets even more painful to absorb. The population's increasing. Look around. I mean, everybody's talking about by 2050, we need to double our agricultural production. And with this technology, we're going to be able to do that, which we'll show you. Pest control, disease and pathogen control, and over time, soil fertility is an issue as well. Well, how are we solving this problem? Now, we solve this problem with this product, and it's called the Kyminasi Plant Booster. Now, the Kyminasi Plant Booster, I'm going to put my myself in the corner there. The Kyminasi Plant Booster is a very simple device. You know, it sounds complicated. If you get into the science of it, it might sound really technical or complicated, but the essence of it is very, very simple. You see on the left here a small device. It's a pipe fitting. That one is, I believe, is a 3-inch pipe fitting. So for small farms, or when farmers want to use just a small test, a small area to prove that it works on their farm, we use one of the devices on the left. And for large farms, we use one of the devices on the right. The simplicity of the Kyminasi Plant Booster, it's an irrigation device that utilizes a farmer's irrigation to send very specific signals, which we'll get into here in a second, to the plants and helps them do what they do best naturally. Now, what is Kyminasi? As I mentioned, the Kyminasi system uses more than 3,000 distinct low-frequency radio waves, and in various combination. And those radio waves are designed, it's very specific frequencies to enhance plant function at the molecular level. And what happens is you just attach this to an irrigation system. The system of microtransmitters will send signals into the water. The water will then carry those signals to the plant, and those plants will actually improve their cellular function because the signals that we're sending to the plants through the water are actually enhancing and improving the natural biological signaling system of the plants. Really what we're doing is taking the natural genetics of the plant and we're making it as optimum as possible. And we're also enhancing and improving negative environmental factors and reducing their negative effects on the plant so that the plant's natural genetics can take over and do what the plant's supposed to do, which is grow healthy, strong, produce a lot of fruit, and also infuse that fruit with a lot of energy. What is the Kyminasi Plant Booster and what does it improve? There's 7 specific areas that we really target with this system, with this technology. The first 6 here, and I'm not going to read them out, but the first 6 of these are all relate to photosynthesis efficiency. The entire purpose of this technology is to improve and catalyze the photosynthesis process. That's how we're able to get our results on every type of plant, virtually every type of plant. We haven't seen a negative result yet. Any type of plant can benefit from this because all plants utilize photosynthesis, right? There are a few different types of photosynthesis, as you can see here in the next slide. Most crop producing plants are C3 or carbon 3 type of photosynthesis. There's also a C4, which is used in corn and some other plants. And then succulents will use a type of photosynthesis called CAM. I'm not going to go into what those specifically stand for, but the reality is a C3 type of photosynthesis typically has less resilience to weather fluctuations and heat than a C4 or a CAM type of photosynthesis. And with our technology, we're able to mimic those more resilient forms of photosynthesis and make the whole process much more efficient. And just to give you an idea of some of the research that's currently being done in the area of photosynthesis, there's actually a study being funded by the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation to try to make photosynthesis more efficient on the dark side reaction. In other words, after the plant absorbs all of its, turns all of its energy from the sunlight in the first part of photosynthesis, and the nighttime reaction is actually utilizing that energy to rebuild cells. And they're trying to get that process more efficient, especially when it gets hot. With our technology, we're already able to do that through our unique signaling mechanism. We don't have to wait 20 years, and we don't have to manipulate the genetic code of a particular plant to get it to work that way. We're able to do that just on the natural stimulation of the plant's natural genetics. Our company, I'm going to kind of skip over this a little bit. Our company's been around for over 20 years in terms of its research. The first 15 years was complete R&D. We got our first prototype in 2014. We started to produce amazing results. Over the next 4 years, we had to increase the power of our technology to meet the commercial agriculture standards because we're using very big irrigation systems that's pumping thousands of gallons a minute. It took us 4 years to actually crack that code in 2018. And then in 2019, last year, we redeveloped the technology in such a way that it's actually 8 times more powerful than anything we've had before. So not only are you getting amazing results, you're getting them faster than ever before. And of course, if you're wondering why you haven't heard about this amazing new technology, well, we were launching, in the process of launching this technology. We did a little bit of a rebrand, and we were launching this technology in early 2020. And of course, what happened? COVID-19 hit, and then everything got shut down and everything became chaotic. We did get several farmers using this technology, but we went from having 5 or 6 university studies lined up and ready to go to everything's on hold. So now that we're kind of coming out of the COVID thing, we're launching in full. And this is why the secret, I'm trying not to make this a secret. I'm trying to get this technology out to you guys so that you guys can see this. We've already proven on farm after farm. If you don't believe me, you can go on our website, and I'm going to show you a few of the case studies here. We've got about 50 or 60 case studies with more coming all the time. It definitely increases yield. It increases nutrient absorption in the plants. It increases the nutrient density of fruit. We've seen that in numerous tissue samples. It improves the flavor and quality of fruit and vegetables. It increases shelf life. And it increases bricks and a host of other different types of benefits. And we are on the right-hand side, you see there, we're also testing several other areas where we believe we're going to improve the farmer's operation even more. So let's look at some case studies here. So this was done back in 2015. We got a 70% increase in crop yield by weight on bell peppers. This is in Panama. We also got 10 to 15 day improvement in shelf life on those peppers on several tests. We've seen improvements in insect resistance. This was an experiment that we ran side-by-side planters, and after leaving the experiment for 5 days, we came back and the control planter had thousands and thousands of insects, where the Kyminasi planter in the same room had almost none. And we got better nutrient absorption, as we see here, better nitrogen, phosphorus, iron, and boron absorption on grapes in Chile. The really cool thing about this, and this is something I kind of want to highlight for those of you who are thinking, well, I want to see what this technology can do, but I really don't need any more increase in yield because the market's not that great right now. Take a look at this graph. I want to show you this. This was done, he only actually irrigated these grapes for 14 days before he harvested. But the big difference that he saw, yes, he saw a 7% increase, which was an extra 1,640 kilograms on the hectares that he used the Kyminasi technology. But take a look here. Not only did he increase the amount of grapes that he produced, but look at the second column here, 146 on the control field per kilogram and 180 on the Kyminasi crop booster crops. What does that mean? That means that he was able to sell a kilogram of his table grapes for $1.46 a pound on the vast majority of his grapes. But with the Kyminasi field, he was able to sell those grapes for more money. He sold them for $1.80 a kilogram instead of $1.46. So he pocketed an extra, what is that, 30% higher money in terms of, so even if the yield was the same, by using Kyminasi, he actually increased his profit. And as you see in the bottom here, this is on a per hectare basis. He made an extra 11,316 per hectare on his grapes. And a big part of that was not just the fact that he got more grapes on the Kyminasi field, but he was able to sell those grapes for more money. The reason being is the grapes were larger, they had a higher Brix rating, and they were overall just a much higher quality crop. So he was able to sell those crops for more money. This experiment we ran in Italy over the winter, and we noticed that the Kyminasi plant booster plants survived the snow and harsh weather over the outside terrace. Control plant, as you can see, dies. Those two planters died, and the various versions of our technology, as you can see here, after the weather got warmer again, those plants started to regrow their leaves and come back to life again. So basically, they were able to sustain a very harsh northern Italy winter. We've seen improvements in CEC. Here we got a 47% increase in CEC over 8 weeks by soil test. It started at 18.3. The control plot went down to 13.3, but our plot, the Kyminasi plot, went up to 21.9, a 47% increase over control. On spinach, kale, and alfalfa, we got an average of 25 to 30% increase in yield there. And you can see also that the coloration of the spinach and kale on the Kyminasi crops is much deeper green, which indicates much higher chlorophyll and plant health. A 25% increase in wheat in Mexico. This is a triticale wheat. It's a feed crop, but they're real excited because this is a feed crop to dairy cows, and they're expecting a much better dairy cow increase there. Much better milk production out of their cows. And turf, we've seen in 11 days, you see the difference here, how much faster the turf was able to come back and get green. He's going to save about $2,000 a year on this particular fertilizer that he now realizes he doesn't need. The same thing on the bottom in a public park, it became much greener. On seedlings, we're seeing much faster growth rate. Here's the tangerine trees that are growing 30% faster. In only 26 days. We saw it actually gained about a month over the control. You see how weak the control trees are looking versus the healthy looking Kyminasi trees. We've increased peppers on almost 25, I think almost 50% increase in yield on peppers in Peru. Table grapes, this one's in Peru and not Chile, but 58% increase on crop yield in terms of the grapes in Peru. Asparagus, again in Peru, we did a lot of experiments in Peru, obviously, because of the seasons and COVID. He got an extra 49% on asparagus on the Kyminasi field over control. And on cherries, you're seeing not just improvements in the growth rate of cherries. This is a farmer that just was trying to grow cherries and could never get the cherries to take off down in Peru. And with our technology, they're finally growing the way a tree should. And you're seeing increased root density. You see the difference obviously on the top here with how much faster the Kyminasi plant booster trees are growing and how much you're already getting a canopy after 3 months. But the root density on these trees, and this is a different farm in Peru, even on lemon trees, see how much difference you're getting in terms of the root structure. You're getting 50% more root structure in terms of the Kyminasi plant booster. And that's what we're seeing on a lot of our plants during the growth phase, is the root structure is much more dense and much more thick and lush in terms of under the ground. And so that means that the plant's able to pull up a lot more nutrients, a lot more efficiently, which obviously sends more energy up into the plant. Everything gets enhanced, and photosynthesis also enhances. This one we did in California on citrus trees. And the cool thing about this slide is it's not easily seen is on the left is the control plant. Now on the left, you see what looks like a little mini tree, right? And you're thinking, oh, well, that seems like the tree there is doing well on the control. And of course it is. With the Kyminasi tree, You see how much taller it goes. It just shoots straight up in the air. And you see how much taller it is. It's actually on all the way up to the top of that truck. And this is the same truck, by the way, just on different pictures, his neighbor yard and the Kyminasi yard that he's using. But take a look at the tree on the left here. That's the control tree. You see more branches and stuff, but you see how short that tree is. It's only coming up about halfway up to the door on that truck in the background, and whereas the Kyminasi is all the way up to over the roof. And you're thinking, well, okay, that's great that it goes straight up, but the thing with it is the Kyminasi tree here is only a year old. Those seedlings were only a year old when we started using the Kyminasi plant booster, and this was only about a 6-week period. You saw a huge growth spurt. So once, and the control group over on the left, that's a 2-year-old seedling. His neighbor's seedlings were 2 years old, so they're already twice as high as in 1 year than the control group is in 2 years. And we know that by this time next year, not only is the whole tree going to be very tall, but it's also going to have a lot more branches and it'll be a lot more full than the control group you see here. So he's seeing about 100% increase in growth rate with Kyminasi on his citrus seedlings. And we're expecting that him to get to full production in as little as 3 to 4 years, whereas citrus trees normally take 5 years to get into full production. So we're anxiously awaiting to see how fast we can get that tree up and producing. A different grower, actually same grower here, but he also runs a nursery for dragon fruit. You see here how much faster these are grown from seedlings, and these are about the same size when they were grown. After only 12 days, you see how much difference in growth rate the dragon fruit with Kyminasi has over control. So if you're running any kind of nursery and speed of growth and turnaround and it is important to you, then he's saying about double the speed of growth in terms of the dragon fruit in his nursery. We had a plum grower here in California, and this guy tested this right at the end of his run. He had plums that were a grove that were just not coming up to size, and he was worried that he wasn't going to be able to get them to harvest. After only 2 weeks, not only did the plums come up to size, but he also got a much higher Brix rating than he normally gets on his plums. Same grower, different area, different variety of plums. This one was done for 4 weeks. It was a little bit later variety. He had a little more time. But the cool thing about this was he normally thins his trees about 20% of the fruit off of his trees so that the fruit gets bigger. With Kyminasi, he's seeing that he doesn't have to thin them as much. He didn't have to thin these trees at all. They still got to the regular size and sweetness that they normally get to without having to thin them. And the last one here is a 97% increase on peppers by weight. And again, peppers, for some reason, if you're a pepper farmer and you're not using this, you're just losing money. That's just, there's no easy way to say that. There's no way to sugarcoat it. If you're a pepper farmer, whether it's hot peppers, bell peppers, whatever, and you're not using Kyminasi Plant Booster, you're literally just wasting money. You're literally just not making money. In fact, I'm going to show you how much more money you can be making in a little bit here. But you see how much thicker and heavier these peppers look and how much denser they are versus control. I mean, these control ones almost look like they've been dried out a little bit, and they haven't. They were both picked at the same time. But the Kyminasi peppers are twice as heavy, as well as having a lot more peppers on his field. He literally doubled his production that year. So let's take a look at how much more money you can actually make as a farmer. Okay, so first of all, I'm going to use grapes as an example because that's the middle of the road. That was his standard production, 98.40. With Kyminasi, he got it up to 10.496. His average sales revenue per acre, these are all per acre numbers, by the way, 14.366 is what he normally makes on his regular field. With Kyminasi, he bumped it up, and you saw why earlier. He got more money and he got more production, so he bumped that up to almost $19,000 per acre there. His input cost per acre comes in at a little under 7,000, and with us, it's a little over 7,000. We added about $175 per acre to his cost. We didn't reduce any of his cost on this first year, but we didn't need to. As you can see why. His profit per acre, though, is 74.43 on his standard control fields. And with us, he bumped it up to 11,794. That's an increase in profit even after paying the cost. He increased his profit by $4,351 per acre. And if you think, well, that's just grapes, that's a fluke. Let's take a look at some actual numbers with a variety of crops here. 43.51 I just showed you, but spinach and kale, we've seen increases per acre of 22.25 per acre. Tomatoes, we've seen increases of 15.91. Turf, 1,059 per acre, more profit. The peppers that I just showed you a couple slides ago, $10,022 per acre. And then cherries, which I showed you earlier, that farmer is going to make $4,075 per acre more with Kyminasi. These are all numbers that are per acre. They're not per farm or per area. They're per acre. So if you have a 20-acre plot, you're talking every acre he's making this much more money. And the numbers on this are just phenomenal. I mean, not only are they making more production, but they're making more money on everything they sell because the fruit's higher quality. So our process is all based upon trust. We don't really want you to take our word for it. We don't want you to cough up buy the farm, so to speak. We want you to trust us. We want you to trust the dealers that you're working with. And obviously, once you see the results, you're going to have a lot of trust in us. So a couple of things is it's a brand new technology. It's not like anything else. It's not magnets. It's not radionics. It's not anything like that. It's very easy to install. It doesn't require any power source. It can't be reverse engineered. Um, any farm that irrigates can use this and make a lot of money with this. The cost is affordable. It's $350 an acre, $175 per acre per year. And unless you're a commodity crop grower that's just not making any money on a per acre basis, you're going to make a lot of money with Kyminasi. We do have a risk-free money-back guarantee. If it's not making you money, we don't want your money. We have a 10X program available, which allows you to try this at no upfront cost to you. All we ask is that once we prove that you're going to get the same results on your farm that we're seeing everywhere else, that you're going to order for a big chunk of your farm. So if I give you 10 acres and I show you that I'm going to make you money, then you're going to order 100 acres or more. And I think, why wouldn't you? If once I prove to you and you literally have no reason to not buy it, right? So we do have a 10X program available that allows you to do that. We also have payment plans if you just want to buy it outright, and we can get this delivered, installed within a week. It doesn't have to take that long. As a company, we donate 10% of all of our sales revenue, not just profit, but sales revenue to humanitarian issues like drug prevention, education, healthy eating, environmental issues, whatever the communities we service need. We donate 10% of our revenue because we want to be the company that gives back to the communities that give to us. So what questions do you have, guys? Really, if you guys have any questions, you're watching this, put them in the comments there, or you can also contact us directly. We'd love to answer your questions. We'd love to talk with you about your farm and what you're doing and how well you're doing and what we can do for you and how we can help you in specific ways, how we can set this up so that you're going to make more money and produce a better product for all of us. If you don't have any more questions, please contact us. My phone number is right there, 727-324-6750. My personal extension is number 6. You can also email service@harvestharmonics.com. That will come to me as well. And I look forward to hearing from you guys. I want to help all the farmers we can. And if there's any reason why you can think of unless you just don't want to make more money, and if you're just like, I'm making plenty of money now, I don't need any more money, I don't want any more money, I don't want to produce a better product, or I've gotten everything as perfect as it can be, that's an opinion you might have, and that's fine. But the farmers that want to improve their operation and make more money and produce a healthier product, please give me a call and let me show you how I can help you do that, because I'm all about help. Thanks, guys. I want to wish you guys a very, very happy evening, and we'll talk soon. Thanks.